Oh, okay.
Good morning, and we will call to order our MAPS 4 Citizens Advisory Board meeting for September 4th, 2025. Item 2A, approval of minutes from our August 7th Citizens Advisory Board meeting. They were included in your packets. Any changes, additions, edits? Okay. Yeah. If not, I would take a motion in a second to approve the minutes. Better? Okay. Chelsea's a yes. Okay, the motion's approved. Thank you. Moving on to item 2B, receive the monthly financial report ending July 31st, 2025.
You have in your packet the revenue and expenditures report. Real quickly, I'll go over on the revenue side for the month, $12,362,008. For the fiscal year, $12,362,008, and for total of $718,411,222. I want to bring your attention to the 3.4% above collections. That is a tenth more than last month.
Yes.
On the expenditure side for the month, $4,921,944, fiscal year of $4,921,944, and total of $374,708,805. I'll try to answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions on the financial report? If not, I'd take a motion in a second to receive. Okay, the motion passes. Thank you. Moving on to item 2C, quarterly update on the MAPS 4 homelessness project.
As you're used to seeing, we have a quarterly update from Oklahoma City Housing Authority. Mr. Greg Shin is here to take you through that report.
Good morning, Greg. How are you?
Good morning. If you could go to the next slide, please. I just want to remind everybody what our overarching goals are. I kind of revisit this every update, so we kind of stay on track and we measure ourselves against this. So in our operating agreement, we agreed to provide up to 500 supportive housing units, and we would renovate 1,500 current public housing units, and also develop 150 workforce housing units, which are a little bit higher income, just slightly. Next slide, please. So in the first budget allocation of $10,762,400, we received $512,400 for administration. We expended 100% of that funding. We committed $1 million to the Oak Grove project, which has now gone from 288 units up to 306 units because we're including a brand new construction project of a few buildings on site, which we can use as what they call a move first. So that will help us with the relocation of residents on site. So we're hoping to have not only vacancies on the site as the project progresses in the current buildings to help relocate families temporarily, but also have new construction on there that will assist with moving people through the process so they don't have to be displaced very long or very far away. It'll be one of the options that we have. And then Creston Park, I put to be determined there. We have committed $2.5 million in MAPS funding, but we're on a temporary pause for this project right now, so I cannot state the total number of units that will be in phase one until we figure out the new financing plan. For the pre-development fund, that's $1,750,000, and that's a revolving fund that will replenish as we get fees and things that we collect as we go through the projects. We'll put funds back into that. Supportive housing project number 2, which is Vita Nova, we expended $3 million on that project, and that is moving forward. Supportive housing number 1 was Dorset Place Community for Veterans, and that I'm happy to announce we opened the doors last week, and the first 7 veterans moved in. So we expended so far $1,900,000 on that project, and there remains to be $100,000 committed out of the development fund for the first allocation, and that will either be spent for Vita Nova or Dorset Place. Next slide, please. So here's what the Dorset Place veteran community looks like. It's a total of 70 units. Phase 2 will be 33 units. 37 units opened last week for the veterans for permanent supportive housing. So it's just one of the choices. I just want to point out that the Housing Authority has hundreds of HUD-VASH, that's Veterans Affairs Supportive Housing. The Housing Authority has hundreds of units for the HUD-VASH program for veterans that have experienced homelessness. This is just one of the choices that veterans have when they look at where they can live with the housing subsidy provided by the Housing Authority. So this Dorset Place Veterans Community, they took the first 7 people walked through there, and immediately they all wanted to move into the building. So I hope to say it's really nice, and we're working on a ribbon cutting ceremony with Mayor Holt, and we're pinning down the date on when we're going to have that public ribbon cutting. So next slide, please. So this is in the second allocation of $10,762,400. So far, we've expended $149,450 out of the $512,400. We've committed $2.5 million to Will Rogers Courts, which is a HUD Choice Neighborhoods program, which I'll talk about in a minute. Supportive Housing Program number 3 is a partnership with We Host Alliance. That's a third-party developer, and they're going to provide supportive housing for homeless individuals, and the campus for this project is right across from the Homeless Alliance campus. So it's at 4th and Kentucky, across catty-corner from the Homeless Alliance. And Shiloh Apartments is a new project with a third-party developer. This is in southwest Oklahoma City off of Southwest 59th Street, and that's 132 units, and we committed $1 million to that project. I'll go into details on that. So far, out of the $10,762,000, we still have $5.5 million to commit to projects over the next couple of years as they're identified in maps for homelessness. Next slide, please. So this is a rendering of the We Host Alliance Permanent Supportive Housing Project by the Homeless Alliance campus. That map shows you the location there. There are going to be 38 units. We have $1.2 million of MAPS funding invested into this project. The total development cost is $6.5 million. We're currently in contract negotiations with them. We're finalizing how the agreement will be structured so that we have control over the site, and we make sure that the project will be operated in the terms of the agreement with the MAPS for Homelessness program. So any third party that we hire under the agreement, we have 3 named subrecipients. That is Mental Health Association, Pivot, and the Homeless Alliance are named in the operating agreement, but it also gives us the latitude to find other partners as we need to. And so what the program here is that it expands our capacity to deliver units to the market more quickly. So while we're working on Creston Park and Oak Grove and Dorset Place, getting that up and running, and Vita Nova, while we're working on all those projects, we have these projects going on at the same time because it's such an emergency to bring more affordable units to the market. We have to have other companies helping do that at the same time, but they have to have the same compliance to maps for homelessness that we would if we were the developer on the project. So that's what we're working out with We Host Alliance right now. Next slide, please. This is the new Shiloh Flats, and this is affordable workforce housing in southwest Oklahoma City, and it's the first workforce housing project. So we have 55 project-based vouchers issued by the Housing Authority to subsidize 55 of the 132 units. The other 77 units, we're considering workforce units out of our 150 total that we're trying to deliver over the length of the program. So this will really provide Class A housing in a high-income market in southwest Oklahoma City where there is no affordable housing at all. So this process of having a project that already went through Planning Commission and was approved by City Council for the zoning change provides inroads to give low-income households access to a high amenity opportunity zone neighborhood where we would not otherwise have affordable housing developed. But it's a mixed income property and nobody will be identified as low income, and it's like a Class A building, so it will look very, very highly finished and well built by Elmington Affordable Housing, and they're a quality national developer that we're working with. Next project, please. So this shows you the investment location map for both allocations 1 and 2 as we've got it defined so far today, the projects that I've presented to you. So you'll see where we started with Creston Park. You'll see up north, that's where the Dorset Place veteran community is located, and number 7 down at the bottom, that's the location for the new Shiloh Flats. So the intent here is to spread out these projects over time so we're not concentrating poverty or disability or any specific target subpopulation for the MAPS for homelessness program. They're not located in one neighborhood. The idea is that it's all parts of the city should be a part of the plan to end the affordable housing shortage and provide housing for people that used to experience homelessness. I say used to because once they move in, they're no longer homeless. Okay, next slide, please. So this gives you our project timeline for all the projects that are up here. The only one that I don't have is the Shiloh Flats project. I do not have on here, but the next update, I will have Shiloh Flats on this schedule. And you can see that some of them are taking longer, and some of them happened very quickly, like Dorset Place. That was probably the quickest project that we will have in this entire program. So I'm really happy about that. Next slide, please. So just to give you the number of units, the project type, what the current status is, and the expected start date. Creston Park, as I said, we had to take a little pause on that. We had low-income housing tax credits from the Oklahoma Housing Finance Agency, and there were some rules under the qualified allocation plan. This is very technical. You have to apply and meet the standards under the QAP for qualifying for low-income housing tax credits. There were some unfavorable terms in the 2023 allocation, which is when that project was awarded tax credits. Some of those things were you have to build a storm shelter, you have to build, and there's some other amenities in the project that were driving the cost of this project upward. And in next year's QAP, those will not be requirements. So we intend to reapply for financing for that project. As well as we were short, our budget gap was $8 to $10 million, even though we had 11 subsidies in the project. We could not close that $8 to $10 million budget gap. The cost of construction is escalating at such a rate. We have a new federal compliance standard for what's called Build America, Buy America. BABA has increased pricing about 25%. The requirement of BABA is that you source American-made products. And so that is driving the cost up because suppliers are short. And so, of course, everybody's racing to comply with that. So then you have a load of projects trying to hit already strapped suppliers that are in short supply. So it's a difficult situation, but actually we've had some success just recently navigating and building relationship with some new sources, so we're starting to get a handle on it. It's causing projects across the country to hit the pause button right now, and Creston Park was one of those. For Oak Grove, I mentioned that went from 288 units to 306 because we're building some new units at the same time. We're in design and financing. We're preliminary design, and September 2026 is our anticipated start date on this now, as we're applying for a low-income housing tax credit application, as well as we still are doing that for Creston Park. So Vita Nova is 76 units. That's the motel conversion on East Reno, and so that one is in design, and we have a general contractor. We're at about 80% of design documents on that project. We expect demolition and construction to begin in October of this year, and it will be finished before the end of 2026. Dorset Place, as I said, was 37 units in phase 1, and we're already in the occupancy phase. So that's a total of 419 units. Again, I had 170 in Creston Park before, but I took those off the table here until we get that refinancing plan, and I'll come back to you with the new number there. Next slide, please. So this shows the leveraging, the other sources of financing other than MAPS that are coming into these projects for the MAPS for Homelessness program. The Creston Park leveraging is, I took that out of the total here. We still have $2.5 million allocated. Oak Grove Apartments, our new project pricing on that is an estimated budget of $71 million. And so the leveraging would be $70,666,000. That's projected number. I'll finalize that as the project moves forward. Vita Nova Supportive Housing, MAPS invested $3 million, but the project really is a $16 million project, so the leveraging there is a little over $13 million. Dorset Place, MAPS invested $1.9 million, and 4.7 is the projected total budget for all 70 units right now, so that's leveraging $2.8 million. And that's a total of $8,400,000 of MAPS investment to create 452 units, leveraging $86,469,000. So that's $10.3 to every $1 of MAPS funding. Next slide, please. So for allocation 2, these are very preliminary. Will Rogers Courts, the Choice Neighborhoods project, that's currently 348 units, but the plan is to develop 712 units. That'll take 7 phases of development. And so that's in planning status. We hope that to be started in June 2028 with a new HUD grant award, which we will be applying for. The We Host Alliance project, as mentioned, is 38 units. That's new construction, and we're in contracting. We have a project to be named. I hope to have a name on this project next report for family workforce housing, and that's estimated at 24 units. That could go up. I'm still measuring the acreage on that project to see what the building footprint will look like. And Shiloh Flats is 132 units of family, workforce, and mixed income subsidized housing. And we're in the contracting phase, but that should start in the first quarter of 2026 because design is complete, zoning is complete, they're ready to go to construction phase. So that's 906 units projected in the second allocation at this point, and I still have $5.5 million to allocate to projects. Next slide, please. So this shows projected leveraging there, and Will Rogers Courts is still to be determined. We don't, again, that'll be over 7 phases, but I'll track that as it goes forward. We Host Alliance, we're looking at the total leverage of $5.9 million for the 38 units. Shiloh Flats, we're looking at $46 million as total leveraging. The family workforce housing, I do not have a price on that yet, depends on the number of units that we specify. So you've got the 905 units leveraging $52 million at this point in time. This is very preliminary on allocation number 2. Next slide, please. Okay, so that's what I have for you. I know that was a lot quickly, but please, I'll answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions for Mr. Shin?
I just want to go back and say Creston Park still hasn't been demolished yet? Like, we haven't done anything over there yet?
No, we're currently meeting with neighborhood groups. In addition to having financing, being short on financing, we're meeting with neighborhood groups. And the one thing that everybody agreed on is they want to get rid of those old houses that are vacant. Every single person in the room wanted that. So we are pursuing that with HUD. We have preliminary approval from HUD on that, but we're waiting on the final written approval from HUD, and then we can begin the demolition of those homes in later this year. The idea is hopefully we can start that in the fourth quarter of this year, and then we'll have a clean slate to come back with the new financing plan and the new number of units that'll be built on those acres that used to have the old public housing homes that are currently vacant. It's a critical safety issue. Those homes have been broken into over and over again. The Housing Authority team keeps boarding them back up every single week, so we don't have code problems, but it's an eyesore, and that those all need to be torn down. So that's step number 1. Thank you for that question.
Okay, it's just disappointing that this is taking so long to come to fruition.
I agree.
And then comparatively to the other housing projects that have been able to get off of the ground and really get started. So,
I totally agree with that comment, and it's frustrating to me as well. I explained some of the complex reasons for it, but this is a big project, and it's a new construction, and it's very expensive to put together the financing plan for this project, and we want to have community buy-in on the product that's delivered in the end. So it's complex, complex coming together of all those elements. It's Tulane Creston Park, which I think it's one of our marquee projects here on Martin Luther King Avenue. It's high-profile location, and we need to hit a home run with that project. So,
Okay. Other questions? Okay, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate the update. Item 2D, recommend approval of change order number 1 with Crossland Construction Company for the MAPS 4 Family Justice Center for an increase of $124,344. Mr. Todd?
Yes, so this is a change order for the Family Justice Center. As you said, the bulk of this is $108,000, and that's because of some utility problems. And Cox Communications has not gotten out of the area at this point, and this is delayed to the contractor because he's had to hold up and hold his schedule back. So that's the bulk of it. As I understand, they are finalizing their plans with Public Works, and will be starting soon if they haven't already started. But this is definitely a delay because of the utility delay on that. Then we have a small amount for concrete slab and foundation demolition. You know, when you stick a shovel in the dirt, you never know what you're going to find, as we saw with the fairgrounds many times. But there's $7,700 for some foundations that were found out there. And then there's a $4,000 sanitary sewer manhole adjustment and some door hardware modifications. But as I said, the bulk of it is because of that delay.
Okay. Any questions on this item? Okay, if not, I'd take a motion in a second to approve. Here we go. Okay, There we go. Got it? Okay, the motion passes. Item 2E, construction update on the maps for bike lanes, Phase 1A. Do you want to do?
Right, wanted to bring you an update on bike lane construction. We haven't seen anything on that in a while. Josh Malwick is here from Consor to show you what they've been up to.
Good morning, Josh Malwick, Consor Engineers, and I'll give you a quick update on the Phase 1A maps for bike lanes. Just a reminder of where what the project limits are. The Phase 1A was kind of broken down into three sections. The first section was the Northwest 16th from the Overholser Trail extending over to Tulsa Avenue, and then Tulsa Avenue between 16th and 19th, and then the final one was 19th Street between Tulsa and Indiana Avenue. We were able to add all 3 tier bike facilities to this segment. This is the longest crosstown connection that will be completed, and we were able to signalize, or we're working on signalizing the May Avenue and Northwest 19th Street intersection. A reminder for everyone just what each one of the tiers are. Tier 1, protected bike lanes. They do have the individual bike lanes separated by traffic with the buffer or a single line depending on the available space of the roadway. And then the protection aspect of it is where we'll have some form of delineator placed in the road to separate the bike lane and the driving lane. Tier 2 is the same thing. It's just without the addition of the delineator. This is typical situation if we've got an area where there's a lot of driveways, or if there's a lot of trash pickup locations. We don't want to create any issues, any conflicts with the trash collection. And then the tier 3 is just the shared lane, and this has got the Sharrow placed strategically in the lane depending on how the lane placement is, and it's also accompanied by a share the lane sign. For this contract, RCC Traffic was selected. The contract amount came in at almost $1.9 million. We did issue a notice to proceed on March 17th of this year, and the current anticipated completion date is December 10th. An update on where we're at with the construction. We've installed to date a little more than 31,000 feet with almost 200 pavement markers. That's Sharrows for this project. To this point, we haven't been able to put any bike boxes down yet. The signal detection has been completed. This doesn't have anything to do with the signalization at 19th and May. That is under construction as well. However, the signal detection upgrades were completed at specific locations that didn't have radar detection to detect cyclists whenever they pull up to the signal. And this says 80% of the pavement repair is complete, but as of today, all of the pavement repair has been finished. What we have to remain is stripe between Rockwell and Tulsa along 16th, and then the Sharrows that go on the concrete pavement. The Sharrows haven't been installed on concrete yet because it requires a different piece of equipment to come out there, so they're just doing it all asphalt first and then come back and do the concrete after that. You can see in the left picture there, the yellow arrows point towards where they've already done the layout in preparation of adding the bike lanes along 16th. This is going to be between Rockwell, from Rockwell a quarter mile to the east, and then between MacArthur and Meridian, there's bike lanes there. And then on the right picture is a completed pavement repair where we went in and removed the bad concrete and replaced it. Just looking at some of the Sharrows and the striping that's been completed here on 16th Street. This is right around the Council Road intersection. And then towards the west end at the beginning of the project, at the Overholser Trail, just some more striping that's done along with those Sharrows. Moving over onto the 19th Street segment, you can see how that placement of the Sharrow in the left picture is offset. This is an anticipated location of where it needs to go because there is on-street parking allowed here. So we wanted to try and place it where we've recognized traffic likes to travel. That way we won't have tires constantly beating it down and hopefully improve the longevity of it. And then the right picture is just where we get back into the undivided section and the standard Sharrow placement. The 19th and May intersection signalization update. We do have all of the signal pole footings in. We do like a couple of the pedestrian signal pole footings. The sidewalk on the southeast side is complete. This week they actually completed the east center median sidewalk, and we'll be placing the concrete this morning for that northeast corner. Then the conduit for all the signals has already been installed, and all the pole boxes is already all in place. Future progress, complete the east side. They'll do that today. Then they'll move over to the west side and complete it. And then we'll install the signal equipment and finish with any curb that we may have removed or pavement and have to replace it. The left picture is what they had completed as of a week ago. That's that southeast corner where we added a crossing for both north and south and east-west. It did not exist before, and so we'll now have that continuity for pedestrians to be able to cross both north, south, and east and west. The west, or the right picture there is just the west center median with those footings already installed. The program budget for this was $3.4 million. The original contract amount was that $1.9 million. Work to date is at a little over $650,000, and the remaining contract is $1.2 million. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Okay, no, thank you very much. So you also doing DF?
Yeah,
Okay, so construction update on maps for bike lanes, Phase 1B.
So this is
Yes.
also Josh's project.
So now to talk about 1B. 1B was Classen Boulevard that extended from Western, where it goes east and west, and it curls up north all the way up to Britton Road. And then the northeast 16th Street, that was between Walnut and Bryant. And if you recall, a while back, we actually extended it from Katy Trail all the way over to Bryant to make more connectivity with the Bryant bike route. With this, we were able to add Tier 1 and Tier 3 facilities. We were improving the crosstown connectivity on the east side of the city, and then focus on enhancing the cyclist safety along both corridors. Again, the tiers, Tier 1 has that protection component to it. We did do a little bit of a different style on this, and you'll see some of that in the pictures. Didn't have any Tier 2 facilities, and then the Tier 3 was, again, that shared, which was a significant portion of the Northeast 16th project. The contract on this was, again, RCC Traffic. It was a $3.4 million contract. We issued the notice to proceed last November and anticipate it to be completed today. An update on Classen. We have installed actually a little over 41,000 feet of stripe, 83 bike pavement markers, and that is mostly bike boxes, but it does have some sharrows included in there. Over 500 delineators. We did a little over 4,000 square yards of pavement repair, and we ended up only having to do signal detection upgrade at Chesapeake Drive. We had intended to do it at 63rd as well, but it ended up that the detection was already upgraded at that intersection. So this is completion of Classen by south of Britton Road. We did make a change here to add parking because of the potential of a dog park going in the center median here. So we worked with Planning and Public Works to revise that, and actually doing this kind of striping actually reduced the need for the amount of stripe that we had in the contract. So a little bit of a cost savings by putting that parking in place. You can see in the right picture, that's a new different style of delineators that we use. Those small ones are called armadillos. They're actually bolted down to the pavement so they do not come up. And they're very resistant to traffic, as we've already noticed that some of them actually have been hit. And then looking a little further south on Classen, just a different setup for how we put the delineators down when we noticed that they were going to be in an area where it comes in or out of a curve, and we thought that there may be an area prone to vehicles crossing over into the bike lane. So we used a curb style delineator, which is that smaller one, and then we just increased the visibility of it by adding more of them. The left picture is in the Chesapeake campus area, and it's just kind of what we installed with the delineators and the armadillos. And then the right picture is looking west, looking towards Western from that roundabout at the south side of the Chesapeake campus. Moving to Northeast 16th, we did install 9,500 linear feet of stripe, a little over 80 pavement markers. We did do signal detection upgrade, and to date, the project is considered substantially complete. We're just waiting on scheduling the final walkthrough on it. This is the median crossing at Lincoln. We went ahead and put some put some sharrows in there just to remind drivers that are turning through there that is a bike route. The right picture is the Lindsay Avenue crossing, because that had that median that goes across 16th. We ended up needing to put in the wider path so that we could accommodate cyclists and pedestrians if we needed to at the same time, but it's a nice clear path to get through on both sides there. And then just more pictures of the sharrows placed along 16th. The right picture is actually where the beginning of the bike lanes start, and the sharrows either start or stop. Some more pictures of the bike lane area. You can see we did that different style or that different combination of delineators there to make it a little more protected for the cyclists. We do have a change order on this. It's a no-cost change order, and it's just to add 48 days. This is due to just some additional work and the weather days that we've had with all the significant amount of rain that's been delaying the contractor's progress. The budget on this one, we started with 3.5 million programmed. The original contract was 3.4. We did do change order 1 and amendment number 1 for about 35,000. That increased some of the pavement repairs that we needed. We added some items that weren't on there, like curb and gutter, and then we did have some signalization costs for additional conduit that we had to install that we typically wouldn't know was going to be required until we actually got out there and the contractor discovered what we needed to do at those signals. And it's typical whenever we just have an older signal. The second and third change orders were time only, no cost there. So the current contract amount's just a little over 3.4 million. Work completed to date's at 2.5 million with the remaining 865,000. We do anticipate that we'll have some additional funds left over on this one. We won't use the entire contract value. Any questions?
Okay. Any questions on this presentation? Okay, no. All right, Josh, thank you very much. Item 2G is the change order that Josh just referenced. Change order with number 3 with RCC Traffic with no increase. So we need a motion and a second to approve. Okay, motion passes. Thank you. Item 2H, recommend approval of change order number 3 with EMC Services for the MAPS 4 sidewalk and related amenities Phase 1B. And this is for an increase of $13,700.
Yes, that's correct. And there's 2 items on this change order. There's tree removal for $10,000. There's 3 trees involved in that, and the consultant and the contractor have talked to the property owners. They gave a presentation to the subcommittee describing all of that, and then there's a manhole lid adjustment. It's pretty routine stuff.
Okay, any questions? Not, take a motion and a second to approve. Okay, thank you for passing that. Item 2H, recommend approval of change order number 3 and amendment number 3 to the MAPS 4 bus stop improvements Phase 1 for a decrease of $348,054.20.
This
Man,
is...
you don't get these very often.
Right. We like the decreases. This is a housekeeping item. We like to keep up to date with our quantities and everything that we're doing. So this project is very near complete. You'll be seeing a final acceptance here real soon. But as I said, this is just to reconcile quantities to date.
Okay, any questions? Okay, take a motion in a second. Motion passes. Moving on to item 2J, recommend adoption of resolution committing $8,502,000 of the Oklahoma City Capital Improvement Sales Tax to the MAPS for Advanced Transit Options. Mr. Todd.
This is a little out of the ordinary, but it's because we're going for grants through the federal government. Embark is leading that charge. There's about $35 million for this project, but what they need is a document from council that says there's definitely $8.5 million here to be used on this project that will be used as our matching funds. It's really an administrative thing. It's not new money. It's nothing outside of what we have.
Any questions?
It's really a promissory note, kind
A
of.
promissory
Yeah.
note, okay? Fair enough. If it gets us more money, we're good with it. No change, no questions? Okay, I take a motion in a second. Okay, the motion passes. Item 2K, recommend approval of final plans and specifications to be advertised for the MAPS for South Lakes Park improvements.
So Lindsay Flesher and Jeff Evans are here to go through the plans on this and the next item.
Okay, great. Welcome.
Thank you. Yes, I'm Lindsay Flesher with CEC. As David mentioned, Jeff Evans with PDG is here with me, as well as Sarah Andrews with GH2. And we're going to start by going through where we ended up with our final plans for South Lakes Park, moving into bidding. Here's an overall site plan of both the existing and proposed improvements to the park. And Jeff?
Thank you. As you see here, this is the master plan that y'all have seen before. It hasn't really changed much as we move to finalizing construction drawings. We've just kind of finalized what's in base bid and what are alternates. So our key areas to this are the numbers 4 and 5 that you see in the middle of the complex on the left side of the ponds. That's going to be the concession restroom area, hospitality area, and offices there at the soccer complex. It'll have amenities around that with plazas and shade structures and seating. And then also to the north of that, number 1, and then to the south of that, number 1, and over on the bottom right-hand side, 1, are restroom concession buildings that are being added to the complex to add amenities to that facility. Also with this, we will improve some of the ADA access. And then one of the big items that is on this master plan that you don't see is the infrastructure. All of these buildings currently are on septic systems, and so they are going to be modified over to a gravity feed to the city sewer system. And so we will get rid of those septic systems. The one exception to that is there's a community center on the east side of the site by the pond lake, and that one is going to be bid as an add alternate to move over because that one requires a little bit more work, and so it will require a grinder pump or a pump station to move that over to the sanitary sewer line. We hope that the funds are there to move that one forward, but right now that one will be as an add alternate. The other alternate item that you see on this will be number 6 on the top left, is a parking lot of about 100 spaces, maybe a little bit more, and that is bid as an alternate. Again, we're hoping to have the funds, but just to make sure we're within the base bid, we want to make sure that we move a couple of these as alternate items. But you'll see the budget here in a little bit that we are hoping to have room for that. And Sarah's going to talk about the buildings on site.
So this is the clubhouse that we're looking at now. The north is to the top of the screen, as you can see. So the hospitality room on the east side of the building faces the parking lot, and that can accommodate 150 occupants with tables and chairs, as you see it on the screen. There's also a large storage space to accommodate all the tables and chairs whenever they need to clear that space out. The area in purple is the restrooms that serve the building as well as the adjacent fields. So those are sized to accommodate the bleachers and things in the fields. There's also 2 family restrooms, one on the north and the south side. And the family restroom on the south side does have an adult changing station for families that need that capability. In red, you can see the concessions, which can serve the north and the south side as well. And then on the west side in blue is the offices. So this is a bird's eye view looking from the west down onto the clubhouse. You can see on the top of the screen on the east side is the existing maintenance building, so this is just adjacent to that. A rendering looking at the front of the building. The architecture is designed to mimic the existing structures on site, so it all blends in cohesively. So the materials are split-face CMU, which again coincides with what's there. The soffits are a composite wood, and so it gets the durability, but also the warmth that brings inside the building. And this is a look inside the hospitality space. So we've got a suspended wood ceiling for acoustics, and we've got a rubber tile floor, along with a lot of great branding for the soccer club there. This is a look from the east side of the building. So we're facing the back side of the offices, and this is a space that the soccer club can use for trophy ceremonies and things like that. This is the maintenance addition. So there's an existing maintenance building on site. We're doing another one adjacent to it as an addition. So there's going to be 3 overhead doors to use for all the equipment on site, as well as a conditioned storage space for paint and other sensitive materials. As Jeff said, there's 3 satellite restrooms on the site to serve the more remote fields. And so this is a look at what those would look like. There are small concession spaces as part of those that would serve prepackaged waters and snacks and things like that. And this is a look at what those facilities would look like.
Yes, as Jeff mentioned before, we have a parking lot at the northwest corner that will be bid as our alternate one. That will include sidewalk access around the parking lot into the park, as well as, it's not shown up here, but arterial sidewalk around there. Our current construction budget, it was $6.5 million. Our current base bid estimate is coming in at just around 6. And then our 2 alternates are the parking lot that was mentioned and the sanitary sewer for the event center. The event center is at the far east end of the site, and we're hoping that we can get that into the budget. Currently, that facility is served on septic. It does have downtime on occasion, needs to be cleaned, and eventually being able to move to a gravity solution is a long-term solution that we'd like to have at the site. Just a quick update on schedule. We wrapped up the preliminary report at the end of last year. Just wrapped up final plans and are ready to move into bidding and construction in October and start construction as well and end in October of 2026. We'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, any questions? Yes. Whoops.
Thank you. Regarding your alternates, is there a priority being the parking lot first and then the sewer upgrade second, or could those be reversed?
During design, we met with the user groups repeatedly, and we prioritized them based on their wants and needs.
Okay, so this is community desire
Yes.
feedback.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, thank you. If not, let's just go ahead and vote on this one. We need a motion and a second to approve the final plans and specs. Let us do our housekeeping. Oh, I'm sorry. Yay, I was on presentation. Sorry. There we go. I'm the holdup this time. My apologies. Okay, the motion passes. Thank you. Okay, item 2L, recommend approval of final plans and specs to be advertised for the MAPS 4 CB Cameron Park improvements.
Okay. Yes, again, we're here to present on CB Cameron and where we ended up with our final plans. Here's an overview of the entire park that includes both the existing and what we're proposing for the new improvements. The majority of our improvements in our project are on the south end of the site, and hand it over to Jeff.
Again, this is a master plan that you'll have seen before. Not a lot has changed on the master plan. As you can see here on this screen, the 5 fields to the north are existing. Those have been constructed. Those have been lit and have been in use. With this master plan and what's in our project, you have the 10 fields in the center of the site, and then you have 4 fields to the south. The user group is going to handle those fields being constructed. We're going to grade the site and prepare the site for them, but other than that, that's where that will be left on those 4 fields to the south. There is a maintenance facility that you see number 4 on the southwest side. This one again has your core area number 2 in the center of the 10 fields that will have hospitality, concessions, restrooms, offices, medical space, and then you have some core other areas that we'll get into as we go through this presentation. This does have parking that'll be included, infrastructure, utilities, irrigation, and then it will have the brighter green fields that are to the bottom left of the core area will be synthetic turf fields. The 10 fields will also be lit as part of the base bid. Some of the items in this one, we did work with the user group. We'll clarify that one. We worked with the MAPS office and we worked with the Parks Department to determine alternates to make sure that this one comes in within the allotted budget. And so some of the items here, the plaza areas will be part of the base bid. However, the shade structures are alternate bid items that we're hoping to be able to build as part of the project. We are carrying a large contingency that Lindsay will get into here in a little bit, just to make sure that we keep this in budget. But you can see the center core area there, the viewing areas, the bleachers and everything are part of the base bid, but the shade structures above them are alternate bid items as well. Again, just another view of that core area and some of the amenities, the sports lighting and everything that go with that. And then Sarah's going to talk a little bit about the buildings on this one.
Thanks, Jeff. So in this, the north is to the left, and so the hospitality space is looking out onto that core that we saw. So again, it accommodates 150 people. There's concessions that open up into this plaza that goes directly through the center, and so it's this nice breezeway it's about 24 feet wide, so plenty of space for people to walk back and forth and line up at concessions. Restrooms are in the purple, as you can see, and those again accommodate all of the bleachers, so they're nice large facilities with the family restroom and the adult changing station. We also do have a medical space in this clubhouse in the orange, and then the office spaces in the blue. So this is a rendering looking at the building. The panels on the outside of the building are an aluminum metal panel system. And you can see in the red is that canopy that shows that's the breezeway that goes between the buildings. The architecture, again, was designed to coincide with some of the existing structures on the site, so we get a cohesive feel for the entire park. This is a look at that breezeway space between. And this is the maintenance building that is on the southwest corner of the site. Again, it's a shop with the 4 overhead doors to allow them to take the equipment in and out. They did need office space, is what the user group indicated. So we have office with restrooms and a conditioned storage space as well. The 2 satellite restroom buildings are alternates currently, and so those are very similar to South Lakes in that they have concessions as well that are small spaces that can be used to serve water bottles and prepackaged things. This is a look at the exterior of the concessions building. The material on this would be a polished concrete block, and so it's a little more cost effective in terms of materials, but we'll still get that nice appearance that coincides with the rest of the site.
Our construction budget for this project is about $19.5 million, and right now our cost estimate for base bid is pretty close to that. It does have a contingency included, so we are still accounting for some of that. And then we have multiple alternates that were mentioned, the restroom facilities, some of the parking lot, the lighting, spectator amenities, soccer club amenities. Throughout design, we worked with the user groups and MAPS to really outline everything that was wanted in the base bid and make sure we got that in there, and then prioritize the alternates accordingly. Again, we wrapped up the preliminary report at the end of last year. finalized plans recently and are ready to bid this next month with an expected construction timeline of a year. And we'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, any questions on this presentation? CB Cameron Park. Okay, if not, take a motion in a second. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Take a motion motion in a second to approve the plan. Motion passes. Thank you. Item 2M, recommend approval of settlement agreement with WL McNatt and Company for the MAPS 3 Senior Wellness Center number 3 at North Lincoln. Yeah, Mr. Todd.
So this is a MAPS 3 item coming from the senior wellness centers. I don't know where to start other than the contractor finished late. We worked with them considerably, gave them days because of supply chain issues, weather, all kinds of issues. We worked and worked and worked with them, and they still delivered late. And the contract has liquidated damages. I believe it was $1,000 a day. So you can see that in total, there's nearly a year's worth of liquidated damages. And we enforced that. We kept that money from their claims. They sent us requests, and I won't say threatened lawsuits, but implied. So just to stay out of that, we offer this settlement. We kind of did an analysis on what we thought would be city time involved and the effort and attorney's fees and all of that. And this is what we've come up with. And they originally wanted nearly twice this. This is where we've landed. This is what I'm comfortable with settling just to get this over with. And I bring it to you to tell me if you agree or not.
Okay. It's included in your packet. Any questions about the settlement agreement?
Have they already accepted this?
Yes, it's signed, yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, if not, I would take a motion in a second to approve. Okay, the motion passes. Thank you. Item 3, discussion items. Do we have anything for discussion items?
I don't have anything.
Okay. Item 4, MAPS 4 subcommittee reports. Do we have any reports from the subcommittees? Yes, Chelsea.
If I could just make comment in reference to Creston Park, which came up earlier today, that is something we discussed in our subcommittee meeting about how it is still delayed, and we were told it would be earlier this summer that demo would begin. One thing that did come up was that the Housing Authority has, quote, learned a lot about what it takes to actually be involved and engaged with the community from the beginning, and so that these issues aren't continuing to just kind of move down the pipeline. I think just in general, I would like to express a little bit of concern specifically about the Creston Park project as it pertains to not serving the residents nearby and how that affects minority populations and people that are in vulnerable conditions. So I think that's just a frustration I'd like to express. But then also as we see, these, I think, again, more kind of disappointment and frustration, as we get these delays with contractors, as prices continue to go up, it kind of continues to put us in these positions where we're having to make alternates and suggestions for things, are essentially cutting what we can actually provide as a service to our community. So as we've been going through this process, I just am wanting to kind of state my feelings of frustration watching those things happen and note that I am paying attention and that I hope that we can bring these up for discussion when necessary so everybody can be aware that this is happening and is actually impacting citizens that live here in the city, and that the limits of MAPS budgets are becoming very real, and I would like to be aware of that as we continue going forward.
Okay, thank you. Other comments? Okay, thank you. Item 5, update status on the MAPS 4 program as a whole.
You've seen several presentations today. You've seen that we're working on bike lanes. We've got a lot of sidewalk projects out. We've got some interviews coming up for more beautification. You probably saw an article about the boot for our beautification project that planning has taken over as an art project. I mentioned, I believe that, no, I did not mention, the diversion hub is well under construction, on schedule. There was a tour by the subcommittee this month. I understand they enjoyed that. Palomar, we talked about a little bit, it's under construction. And Animal Welfare Center is on schedule and making great strides. So we've got a lot going on.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Todd? Okay. Item 6, information item, a resolution approving relocation of Cox Utilities for the MAPS 4, related to the MAPS 4 Family Justice Center.
Yeah, what I failed to mention is that because of timing, I already sent that resolution to council, but I wanted this body to know about it and know what was going on with that cost, because it is a cost that comes out of the budget for Palomar. But to get them to even move, I had to make a commitment, and every day lost was just more. So I failed to tell you that it's already gone to council, but I did bring it to you guys.
Okay. And so is that the cost, the $483,000, is that a cost to the project?
Yes, absolutely. Come right out of construction.
Okay. That's frustrating. On a project that was tight already.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, item 7, comments by board, staff, and citizens. No citizens signed up today. Any statements, comments from the board today? Oh, yes. Monique.
I just wanted to mention that today there will be a Ward 7 open house and town hall meeting located at the Alpha Community Foundation of Oklahoma at 3401 Northeast 16th. It starts at 6, and I will be there discussing the MAPS 4 updates for Ward 7.
Good, thank you for doing that. Appreciate that. Any other comments by the board? Anything from staff? Okay. Item 8, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Before you leave.
Oh, whoops. Oh, wait, sorry, I adjourned too quickly.
No, you're
Okay,
adjourned. This
we're
is
adjourned.
fine. Yeah. As a token.